Hi Mustafa, I'm Zuhair. I'm from Bangladesh. I live in the capital city of Dhaka, but actually I'm from the coastal part of Bangladesh. We're not one of the most responsible for the global climate change, but we're facing it.
Pleased to meet you, Zuhair. I'm Mustafa Kamal. I work in a program called Green Jobs, where we connect the employment agenda, the decent work agenda as we call it, with the environmental sustainability agenda.
So, as you know that we are already here at Stockholm Plus 50, we're commemorating the 50 years of environmental multilateralism, and in these 50 years, the world has gone through a lot. We have now a lot of conventions from UN. So, how do you actually, foresee the change in the last 50 years, and how do you evaluate?
Well, I think there have been important changes since the 1972 conference, but I see that as like people like to say, half empty, half full glass. But interestingly, there seems to be a box here, like of a lot of things that must have happened in the past 50 years. This can be seen as a globe, but as you speak about climate change, the 1992 Framework Convention was important because it really put it as a global environmental challenge, and for the first time helped put in place a framework to address it through collective action. But as you say, it is also reflecting the fact that some countries are more responsible for that, while others, maybe like Bangladesh and parts of Africa, may be less responsible, but unfortunately being most vulnerable.
During my childhood, I have actually experienced natural disasters. As I am from the southern part of Bangladesh, I used to live with flood, cyclones. That was quite normal. But the frequency and the severity has increased a lot in these few years. It has become very difficult for the community to cope up with the consequences because it's beyond their capacities now. They are not being able to adapt to the situation.
I can see this fish which brings to my mind the Convention on the Law of the Sea, which is another globally important agenda for the environment.
At that time, maybe plastic was not used in extent that we are using now. It's everywhere. I was in your country a couple of days ago in Senegal.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was there to attend the ad hoc open-ended working group meeting. That's a preparation meeting for the global plastic treaty that we are talking now.
Right.
And we are expecting that to be presented before the member states and all over the world in 2024 in the next United Nations Environment Assembly. In the next 50 years, we actually don't want to see plastics plaguing all the lives, and we want to create a safe world for the next generation, which is plastic-free and pollution-free.
But that's technology also, and I think we have here, innovation, and that's the role of innovation and how it is useful in improving human well-being. But you always have unintended consequences of technological development and innovation. And I think now it's also the complexity of all these issues. We now look at circularity, and that's taking us into the future. What I see in the current generations of people is they have different aspirations. In the ILO, we see that young people today are not just looking for any kind of job. They're looking for employment that meets a certain vision they have of the work, some kind of aspiration, and it's not all material. So I think that way of thinking and viewing life, I hope in the next 50 years we would think back and see how it has enabled this change.
And change will be started from now. After this Stockholm Plus 50, I hope so. And the young people, they will think more about the sustainable lifestyle, because as you are talking about the individual level action, how young people from individual, because everything starts from individual level, then it goes to community, regional and global level.
Here at Stockholm, we've just started a new initiative which we hope to be transformative, because that's also what we hope to achieve from this conference. And that's an initiative called the Green Job Pact for Youth. It's a joint effort by the ILO, UNICEF, and UN Environment Programme. We want to really put young people at the center of this drive to create green jobs, more and better jobs through environmental action. Hopefully you'll be able to connect and engage with us. And
hopefully our next generation won't face this triple planetary crisis. After the 50 years, I hope the people will gather here to celebrate, environmental multilateralism.
This is Stockholm plus 50, and certainly if we were to find ourselves in the Stockholm plus 100 years, what would you will be finding and wanting to see in this box? One could actually hope that you find nothing in, because we would be in a world where there's no more production, consumption and disposal, but there would be a real circular economy and everything goes back into production and use, and then there's nothing.
Mr. Mustafa, I love your idea, and I think that we should take everything out so that we leave nothing or no waste for the future.
No, absolutely.
Now all we can see, the nature is back, and we could save all the biodiversity, and we could save our endangered species. Mother Earth is very healthy, happy now, and nature has got her all the powers.
So that people who will come here 50 years later, Stockholm plus 100 will find that. So shall we leave them with that?
Yeah, and they'll be celebrating this win.
Fantastic. Let's hope our dreams come true. Yeah, it was a pleasure to connect, and I hope we see you again and work together as well.
And it's my pleasure to meet you and talk to you, get this opportunity to know a lot from you. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks. It was a pleasure to connect.